Welcome to Travel Curiosities, the channel dedicated to anyone who loves discovering fascinating places, cultures, and stories from around the globe. Today, I'm taking you on an unforgettable journey to explore Peru, a country often labeled as poor, but which actually holds spectacular cultural and natural riches. Before diving into the most intriguing details, I want to ask you a direct question. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in one of the most tradition-rich and contrasting countries in Latin America? If your answer is yes, stay with me until the end to uncover the many facets of this incredible land. And, remember, if you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to the channel right away and leave a like on this video. It's a simple gesture that helps me produce more and more quality content for you. Chapter 1. General Introduction to Peru. Peru is a fascinating country in South America, known for hosting the Amazon rainforest and the ancient, iconic city of Machu Picchu, which stands over 2,400 meters, 7,874 feet, above sea level. Once the heart of the mighty Inca Empire, later subjugated by colonial Spain, today Peru is recognized as one of the world's top 50 economies, with a population of about 34 million inhabitants. Its vast territory, exceeding 1 million square kilometers, 386,102 square miles, is divided into three main regions: the coast, the highlands, Sierra, and the jungle, Selva. The capital, Lima, located on the western coast, is a thriving economic and industrial hub overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Despite its reputation as a poor country, especially when compared to global powers, Peru boasts an immensely important historical heritage, unique monuments, and a highly diverse social fabric. Chapter 2. Machu Picchu. The ancient marvel. When talking about Peru, it's impossible not to mention Machu Picchu, often referred to as the country's soul of tourism. Recognized as one of the new seven wonders of the world, Machu Picchu was built under Inca Emperor Pachacutec Yupanqui and remained shrouded in mystery for a long time. Nestled among the Andean peaks at 2,430 meters, 7,972 feet, above sea level, it withstood centuries without being discovered by the Spanish conquistadors, remaining virtually intact until 1912, when American archaeologist Hiram Bingham brought it to the world's attention. The original purpose of Machu Picchu remains a subject of debate to this day. Some believe it was an elite refuge. Others view it as a royal residence or even an important astronomical observatory. What fascinates every visitor is the highly advanced engineering. The stone structures fit perfectly together without the use of mortar, in a very steep area, offering breathtaking views of mountains and drifting clouds. Chapter 3. Lima, coastal metropolis and capital of taste. Lima, the capital, is a city of 1,000 contrasts. While some districts resemble modern metropolises with tall buildings and cutting-edge infrastructure, other areas showcase the country's more humble side, with simpler, more traditional homes and buildings. Yet the atmosphere you breathe here is unique. Fishing is fundamental to the local economy and culture. Fish markets along the ocean open at the crack of dawn, around 5 a.m., to supply restaurants and tourists with every kind of fresh fish, crabs, and oysters, straight from the nets. Lima is also famous for its seafood-based cuisine and its use of tropical fruits like papaya and granadilla, ingredients that give rise to fusion cuisine blending indigenous, European, and Asian influences. In recent years, Lima has garnered a reputation as one of the world's most important culinary capitals. Chapter 4. Iquitos and the Amazon. The reality of contrasts. If Lima embodies Peru's modernity, Iquitos instead reveals the country's wilder and more authentic face. Located in the heart of the Amazon, in northern Peru, Iquitos is almost exclusively reachable by plane or river, as there are no direct roads connecting it to the rest of the country. In Iquitos' markets, you'll find an incredible variety of products, including crocodile meat, worms, giant snails, lizards, and other foods that many Western tourists consider bizarre. These foods are a fundamental resource for local communities, thanks to the abundance of wildlife in the Amazon rainforest. Poverty in this area is evident. Thousands of families live in precarious homes built on wooden stilts, suspended over waterways, without electricity or basic sanitation services. Hygiene in the markets and public spaces, unfortunately, often leaves much to be desired. Despite such precarious conditions, the locals convey positive energy and genuine hospitality. Their warm smiles, curiosity about visitors, and readiness to share what little they have reflect the spirit of the people living along the Amazon's shores. At this point, if you've been struck by the contrast between modernity and tradition, between natural wealth and economic poverty, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think and whether you, too, would like to visit Iquitos or other areas of the Peruvian Amazon. I'd love to read your thoughts. Chapter 5. Peruvian Cuisine, Tradition and Innovation. One of the aspects that often surprises first-time travelers to Peru is the vast range of dishes and flavors. We've already mentioned Lima and its passion for fresh fish and seafood, but Peruvian cuisine doesn't stop there. The famous ceviche, made from raw fish, cooked in citrus juice, is perhaps the iconic dish of the local gastronomy, but other specialties like lomo saltado, sliced beef stir-fried with onions, tomatoes, and soy sauce, causa rellena, mashed yellow potatoes stuffed with chicken, tuna, or vegetables, and pollo a la brasa, marinated chicken cooked on a spit, are part of a rich culinary mosaic that blends Spanish, African, Chinese, and Japanese influences. In the Amazon, however, the cuisine takes a much more rustic turn. People eat river fish, local fruits and tubers, medicinal herbs, and meats that elsewhere might be considered exotic. This fusion of styles and flavors has made Peru one of the most interesting countries for foodies, sparking growing interest on an international level. Chapter 6. The Boiling River, a natural mystery. One of the most incredible phenomena of the Peruvian Amazon is the existence of a river where the water reaches near boiling temperatures, up to about 95 degrees Celsius, 203 degrees Fahrenheit. Situated in a remote area of the rainforest, this body of water stretches for about 6 kilometers, 3.7 miles, and represents a real danger. Anyone falling in risks severe burns or even death. Scientists hypothesize that these extraordinary temperatures might be caused by an active volcano beneath the riverbed, or by a series of geothermal fractures releasing heat to the surface. While it's difficult to confirm its origin with absolute certainty, the scientific community and the more adventurous travelers remain captivated by this rare natural spectacle. In some places, the water is so hot that it only takes 1 minute to boil an egg. Chapter 7. Extreme Accommodations. Suspended Capsules. Peru is a country that knows how to capitalize on its natural and historical wonders by offering unique experiences to adventure-seeking tourists. A striking example is the capsule hotels suspended on mountain faces near the city of Cusco, the ancient capital of the Inca Empire. Inspired by Japanese capsule hotels, these transparent modules are anchored to steep rocky walls, providing breathtaking views of the valley below. A night at these high-altitude lodgings can exceed $900, but for lovers of extreme panoramas, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Sleeping among the stars and waking up to the first rays of sunlight over the Andes is priceless for those who crave adrenaline and strong emotions. Chapter 8. The Identity of Peruvian Women. Another aspect that intrigues travelers is the identity and appearance of Peruvian women, often featuring indigenous traits and olive skin. Many, especially in the more tourist-oriented cities like Lima and Cusco, are very welcoming toward foreigners, particularly Americans and Europeans. It's not uncommon, especially in urban areas, to find people who are friendly and open to new acquaintances. Sometimes you might even be invited for a coffee or to sample a local specialty. However, it's important to remember that Peruvian society comprises numerous ethnicities and subcultures, each with its own customs. Hence, before making broad generalizations, you should inform yourself and always respect local traditions. Chapter 9. Travel Experiences for Every Budget. Peru offers travel possibilities for everyone, from luxury tourism to backpacking adventures. Those with a higher budget can choose Lima as a reference point for upscale hotels, fine dining, and a refined nightlife. On the other hand, travelers on tighter budgets will find a paradise of hikes, traditional markets, and affordable hostels in Cusco and the nearby Andean regions. Eco-tourism enthusiasts can venture toward Iquitos or other Amazonian areas, taking advantage of basic accommodations and local guides who offer packages to immerse yourself in the rainforest. Among the most popular activities are exploring nature trails, participating in shamanic ceremonies with medicinal plants such as ayahuasca, visiting indigenous villages, discovering artisanal markets, and observing unique flora and fauna. Chapter 10. Inca Heritage and Colonial Influences. Wherever you go, from the historic center of Lima to the highlands around Cusco. The Inca influence and colonial heritage are clearly interwoven. Stone buildings and archaeological ruins testify to the grandeur of this ancient pre-Columbian civilization, while churches and Baroque-style constructions tell the story of Spanish colonial rule, which arrived in the 16th century, conquering the region and leaving an indelible mark on the language. Spanish is still the official language, architecture, and customs. Walking through Lima, it's not uncommon to come across well-kept squares, government palaces with pastel-colored facades, and ornate wooden balconies reminiscent of architecture found in Mexico City or some Andalusian cities in Spain. The Peruvian capital is also known for its cloudy and foggy climate, influenced by the Humboldt Current, which cools Pacific waters and affects the coast. This contrast between an occasionally gray appearance and a vibrant cultural life is one of Lima's distinctive characteristics. Chapter 11. Social and modern contrasts. With its 34 million inhabitants, Peru exhibits strong internal inequalities. On one hand, there are modern, affluent districts in Lima, featuring luxurious condominiums, large shopping malls, and upscale restaurants. On the other hand, there is extreme poverty, especially in urban outskirts and in rural and Amazonian locations like Iquitos, where access to electricity, drinking water, and basic services is far from guaranteed. There are also significant differences in adherence to regulations. In some rural or remote areas, traffic and urban organization might seem chaotic to those from countries with rigorous road rules. Motor taxis and tuk-tuks, used in many Amazonian cities, are the main form of transport, perfect for muddy or underdeveloped roads, yet they can contribute to rather unpredictable traffic. Nevertheless, despite these challenges, the population demonstrates a strong spirit of resilience and a lifestyle that values the joy of spending time together, the rhythm of traditional music, and the celebration of popular festivals and events that draw tourists from around the world. Practical tips for an authentic trip. Language. Learn a few basic phrases in Spanish. Outside of Lima and the most touristy places, English isn't widely spoken. A little Spanish vocabulary can make a big difference in daily interactions. Safety. In big cities, avoid walking around late at night in poorly lit areas and watch your valuables. Generally, Peru is not more dangerous than other South American countries, but caution is always wise. Haggling. In markets, taxis, and sometimes even hotels, it's common for tourists to be quoted higher prices. Negotiate with a smile and politeness. It's the norm and can help you save some money. Payments. In rural areas and some Andean or Amazonian zones, it may be hard to find ATMs compatible with international cards. Always carry cash in the local currency, SOL, or US dollars. Climate and altitude. If you plan to visit high-altitude places like Cusco or Puno, near Lake Titicaca, remember to prepare for altitude sickness. Drink plenty of water and try the infusion of coca leaves, a very common traditional remedy. Cultural respect. Peru is a multi-ethnic nation with different customs depending on the region. Show respect for local traditions, especially if you attend religious ceremonies or cultural events. With these suggestions, you'll be ready to experience a more authentic Peru, far removed from the usual mass itineraries, delving into its historical, social, and natural complexities in a more informed way. In conclusion, at this point, you've probably realized just how much of a melting pot of cultures, contrasts, and breathtaking wonders Peru is. From the capital Lima, known for its spectacular cuisine and often misty climate, to the depths of the Amazon, where life flows more slowly and people often live in poverty but with an enviable sense of community, this country never ceases to amaze its visitors. Personally, I believe that Peru's real charm lies in its authenticity. It doesn't try to hide its contradictions but displays them in all their raw reality, inviting you to discover them up close. Whether it's admiring the remains of the Inca Empire at Machu Picchu, tasting fresh ceviche in Lima, or venturing into the waters of the Amazon River in Iquitos, every experience will leave you with an unforgettable array of emotions. If this video has piqued your interest, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming content on travel, cultures, and discoveries around the world. Also, leave a big like if you'd like to support my research and sharing efforts. I hope this overview has given you an in-depth look at what Peru has to offer. Thank you for watching until the end, and if you want to continue exploring, Check out my previous documentaries or visit my profile to discover other extraordinary destinations. See you in the next video from Travel Curiosities. Until the next adventure, and have a wonderful trip, everyone.